First question. What do you call someone who risks their life?
A risk taker.
Risky.
Like a thrill seeker?
Living life on the edge.
An extremist.
Probably just call them awesome.
And they probably don't have a wife and kids.
What do you call someone who lets others risk their life?
Doesn't seem very smart. That's not a very good life choice, I wouldn't say.
I would think that they were crazy.
That's not real smart if you're just going to let anyone determine if you make it through an event.
While driving, every time you meet oncoming traffic, you're putting your life in the hands of someone you don't know.
I see where this is going.
I've never really thought about it that way.
I'm going to be thinking about it now, so thank you for that. Like, 65 down and the car's just right there, and I just drive past them. You know, I scoot over a little bit, but I don't really think much about it. And that's, it's pretty powerful.
I actually think about that a lot of the times. Because that is scary. You really do. Like, anytime you leave your house, you have to trust other people.
I think it's scary because when you think about it, the only thing separating you is a line of paint.
So if you were to high five, then your arms would be ripped off.
So at the minimum, you've got, say, 3 or 4 tons between two cars, even if you're only going 50 or 40, and that other person's going 40. That's an 80-mile-an-hour impact.
I don't think about it. It's almost like there's a law that you just expect everyone to just follow,
I hope they're sober.
They could be even like suicidal and just be like, I don't even care anymore.
So I actually got in a bad car wreck right before I got my license, a few months before I got my license. And so I think that was a big eye-opener to what I need to not do when driving. And because the person who was driving was texting, and I was also texting, but I thought that was okay because I was the passenger. And so
The amount of people on the roads that are, doing what they want to do and you only live once type of mentality, you are putting your life in the hands of people that are also drinking and driving, texting and driving because they just got to get that text out right now, doing drugs and then getting behind the wheel and driving for hours, and things like that. So
there have been a couple times that I have looked at my phone when someone's texted me, but I can't say that I've ever texted back because I just get anxiety in my car if that happens, and so I can't.
even in college, we could talk about back roading, going back and, nobody's on the road, let's just drive around and have some beers. And we used to do that. And so that was not taking it seriously.
I don't look at it that way. I look at it, it's my responsibility as driving the vehicle. I've got to know the laws. I've got to be a defensive driver. I have to be cautious. And that if I do everything that I can do in looking ahead down the road to take care of things before the road gets to me, then, and I'm 51 years old and it's worked for me so far. So,
What kind of driver are you?
I'm a nervous driver. Is that a type of driver?
I'm a wonderful driver. Compared to all my other friends, of course.
Oh, I'm just kind of a crazy driver. I just kind of see this little thing over here and then I'll look at that, and then something's going on over here. You can't see over here if you're looking over here.
I was taught to be a defensive driver, and I don't know if they still teach that in today's driver's ed. So for me, I look down the road. I look ahead of me, and if someone looks like they're swerving or they're driving recklessly or they're in my lane, then I respond to it before it's too late. So if it's a last minute thing that were to happen, then that would be out of my control and out of their control, and I'd just say that's just fate.
Anything can be a distraction. Music, talking to friends. Sometimes, if you're driving long periods of time, it could even just be your own thoughts.
When I go to get behind the wheel after drinking and choose not to, but outside of that, I've never really thought of it that way.
I am a careful, aware driver. I don't even touch my phone when I drive.
My responsibility is there. If I shouldn't be behind the wheel, I have to be responsible enough to make that determination as a responsible adult.
I would hope that you care enough about the well-being of others to pay attention.
Well, I'm sure if you asked someone else that, and referring to me as a driver, they would hope that I would have the same common sense just as I would hope that they would. So I just feel like me talking about someone else driving, they would say just the same thing.
So I've been in that position where I haven't taken it seriously. I've also gotten in wrecks that weren't my fault by being in cars that shouldn't have been in. So maybe help the other person make the choice to stop driving also. That would be another good point.
So that's why I don't drive crazy or stupid. Because I could be endangering people in my car or people around in my car. And I don't want to put that on myself at 16.
I kind of think that in normal life you have to do that. Every time you go to the doctor or every time you get on like a bus, you're kind of doing that. Because that's all life is like a bunch of what ifs.